Welcome to Luxor, Egypt, a city like no other, with lots of history and full of adventure. Known as the world's greatest open-air museum, this city has more monuments than any other place in the world. About 30% of the world's monuments are found in Luxor. Luxor City lies on the east and west bank of the River Nile. The West Bank is regarded as the place of the dead because this is where the ancient Egyptians buried the dead. This is the place where most of the great Egyptian pharaohs were buried. The east bank of Luxor is the location of Luxor town and also some of the ancient temples. The city attracts millions of tourists from worldwide arriving annually to partake in this famous pilgrimage in Egyptian ancient civilization. On this tour we will explore temples and tombs on the West Bank. We will also experience the city life on the East Bank. Luxor is not only the city of old things, but it's also a city of the modern. In the city, you are spoiled for choice on where to stay as they have some of the finest hotels facing the splendid view of the Nile. In Egypt, life revolves along the River Nile, and it is of great significance to their livelihood. In other words, if there is no Nile, there is no Egypt. 95% of Egyptians live within a few kilometers of the Nile. Every aspect of life in Egypt depends on this world's longest river, providing them with food and resources, land for agriculture, a means of travel, and was also critical in the transportation of materials for building projects and other large-scale endeavors. About 96% of Egypt's total area is desert. Only about 3% of the total area is arable land. Out of all the Egyptian cities, Luxor has more to offer, even more than the capital city Cairo. On our first adventure, we are heading to the West Bank area of the River Nile. The West Bank is also known as the place of the dead. This is where the Egyptian pharaohs were buried and mummified. On this West Bank lays a vast area of the largest open-air museum of temples and tombs. Temples were used for official and formal worship of the gods by the state, and to commemorate the pharaohs. Every temple was the house dedicated to a particular god, and Egyptians would perform rituals there and also give offerings. The pharaohs were in charge of caring for the gods, and they dedicated massive resources to this task. This place is called Medinet Habu, a mortuary temple built there by a pharaoh named Ramses III in 1187 to 1156 BC. This temple was dedicated to the god Amun, a national god whose influence was closely linked to the political well-being of Egypt. The temple is carved with religious scenes and portrayals of Ramses' wars against the Libyans, Nubians, and the Sea People. The entire temple of Ramesses III is enclosed within a defensive wall. Entry is only through the high gate. Ramses III was the second ruler of Egypt's 20th dynasty and was one of the last great Egyptian pharaohs. Many scholars consider him to be a master strategist and the last king to yield substantial authority over Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a granite from Aswan,
Okay.
This is cartouche, the name, Ramses.
Okay.
The name, Holy Griffin, the name, Ramses III.
Yeah.
This is Isis, Nephthys, disease.
Okay.
Beautiful color inside here. Ramses III, original color. This is original color, 3,500 years, no illustration, original. No painting, all is original.
Original color, yeah.
Yes. Look and see feet, from here feet. After is a Roman, broken here, no head is broken, is a Roman.
Yeah.
After here, is a Roman. This is original.
Yeah.
This is original color. Cartouche, Ramses. Here. This is beautiful here, Ramses III, among men. This is key and line.
Yes.
Gold, gold, present Ramses III. بتاع سخمت queen سخمت.
Princess.
Yes, سخمت. This is queen. Queen. Outside, two statues.
Yeah.
Outside, one here. This is granite from Aswan. Can see the statue. This is next in this outside.
Yeah.
The statue, the granite from Aswan.
Okay.
This is from here bank, from money, from gold.
Why you keep
Gold
everything?
from here.
Yeah.
This is from here, bank here, chamber here.
Okay.
This is from here. This is from here gold. From here money.
Okay.
From here. Why? No money, no gold. This is Roman. Can see after is Roman.
They broke everything.
Yeah, yes.
To take.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Roman. It's not good.
Yeah.
This is can see up here stone original.
In the cliffs of Deir el-Bahri sits an architectural marvel of Queen Hatshepsut's mortuary temple. Along with Cleopatra, Queen Elizabeth I and Catherine the Great of Russia, this Egyptian queen joins the ranks of the world's most powerful female rulers. For about 20 years she reigned over Egypt. She brought great wealth to Egypt, which allowed her to have numerous building projects. This temple became her most famous architectural achievement. This architectural masterpiece is in many ways different from the other many temples in Egypt. The ancient Egyptians didn't only build massive public monuments to their pharaohs, but they also spent time and treasure creating hidden underground mausoleums. This place is called Valley of the Kings. The valley was a royal burial ground for pharaohs, queens, high priests, and other elites. From the entrance of the valley, visitors are taken to the tombs by these wagons. The tombs were regarded as a place of waiting for the next world in which humans were promised continuing life and pharaohs were expected to become one with the gods. Inscriptions and painting were believed to be the point of contact between the dead and the living. Egyptians believed that some of the images, painting, or carvings that they created in tombs would come to life and accompany the mummified deceased into the afterlife. The tombs were built so deep that the biggest one is more than 120 meters deep. The underground tombs were also well stocked with all the material and goods a ruler might need in the next world, including gold. Because of this, the place became subject to tomb robbers and treasure hunters. Out of all the tombs found at the Valley of Kings, only one royal burial tomb was found intact with nothing stolen. The tomb belonged to a pharaoh named Tutankhamun. Inside the tomb, archaeologists found 3 coffins nested inside one another. The last coffin was made up of solid gold, and inside the coffin was the mummified body of King Tutankhamun. Other items that were found include golden jewelry, chariots, model boats, jars, chairs, and paintings. Despite rumors that a curse would befall anyone who disturbed the tomb, its treasures were carefully catalogued, removed and included in a famous exhibition called The Treasures of Tutankhamun in a museum in Cairo. Archaeologists have been digging the Valley of the Kings for centuries, yet it continues to yield surprises. Up to now, more is still to be discovered. Back to the East Bank in Luxor town. One of the best ways to explore the city is with a horse-drawn carriage. This has been a means of transportation since ancient times, but it's used now for excursions. Flip-flop through bustling markets and squares, exploring the districts of Luxor and experience the life of the locals.
I wish all the people come from all over the world to come to see wonderful people, wonderful country, history. Amazing. Really amazing. Very safe here. Very clear weather. Wonderful. What more do you want me to say, my friend?
One thing commendable about Luxor City is that the people have embraced modernity, but they have managed to keep the history of the city intact. Luxor is one of the cities in the world where the old and the modern coexist.